Namaskar, hello and a very warm welcome to this 5-day, 5-hour online training on cyber parenting. This is organized by CIET, that is Central Institute of Educational Technology, NCERT, and my name is Tanvi Khurana. At this moment, you're watching us on eVIDYA channel number 6 to channel number 12. And you're also watching us on our YouTube channel, that is NCERT Official. That is our YouTube channel. In the live chat box, you can raise your queries, your questions throughout this program. Till 5 o'clock, we are going to discuss the topic for today, that is generational perspectives in cyber parenting. So what all cyber parenting is all about, we are going to discuss in this particular program. If you have questions, queries, please raise your queries. If you want to call us, the number would be 8800440559. And there's a specific email ID through which you can connect with us, that is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. So there are multiple ways through which you can connect with us, you can raise your queries, and cyber parenting is the theme of this entire online training, which is a 5-day training starting from today, that is day 1, 4th of December till 8th of December. Every day from 4 to 5, we'll come here and bring a new topic to discuss related to cyber parenting only. On last day, that would be Friday, that would be 8th of December, a quiz link will also be given to you towards the end of the program. And if you score more than 70% marks, then you will be getting a participation certificate as well. So I will be explaining you the entire process, how you can register yourself, what is the website, and who all can participate, each and everything towards the end of this program. So please be with us and raise your questions, queries, anything you have regarding this topic, and we'll be trying to take up those queries towards the end of this program. And we have a guest for today. Let me please introduce him to all of you. We have with us Dr. Rakesh Kriplani. Sir, a very warm welcome to you in this program.
Namaskar. Good evening, all of you.
Good evening to you too, sir. Sir is a consulting psychologist and psychotherapist as well from Rashtriya Raksha University. And sir would be more than happy to answer all your queries, all your doubts. There are a few things that I want to tell you regarding this online training, that there is no attendance, so you do not have to mark any attendance. All you have to do is watch this entire program, because the quiz questions would be based on these programs that we are going to do on all these 5 days starting from today. And all the 5 days have different topics to discuss. So every day some new information will be given to you and shared with you from our experts. And the website would be given to you towards the end of this program. So please watch this entire program. And for queries, there are multiple ways, especially our YouTube channel. So we'll be waiting for your questions. Let's begin with this discussion on the theme of cyber parenting topic, generational perspectives in cyber parenting. So let me please ask Dr. Kriplani here. Sir, what is it that we are going to understand in this particular topic in this session, sir?
Yeah. So should we start now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. So good evening, all of you. And today's session is something very relatable to all of you, as a teacher, as a parent, those who are listening to me. So when we talk about cybersecurity, basically, so people think there is only part that is cybersecurity, but there is another part which is the backbone of cybersecurity, that is called cyber psychology. So today, basically, this topic is a part of cyber psychology, which covers basically the cyber parenting aspects. So today's part is basically to understand the various generation. So right from the baby boomers to Gen Z, we'll be discussing about various aspects in the next 45 minutes to 1 hour. So this topic is quite vast. Maybe we may not be able to justify the topic in 1 hour, but I'll try my level best so that you can understand, so that you can use it and apply it into your day-to-day life. So the first thing, very important thing which comes basically is about, when we talk about scientific things, we always say there is a cause and effect relationship. There is always a cause and there is an effect. So our society has a habit, basically we think more of the effects rather than the causative factor. So today we are going to discuss about the causative factor also, why certain problems in the parenting have started, and how from last 60-70 years we have lost few things and the family has got shrink, and how parenting is related to cyber. So we are going to discuss about 1 or 2 super concepts also, which is a part of your life and it is relatable to cyber part. And then we are going to discuss about the different generation perspective also. So maybe I will be taking a little fast because of the time, but I'll try my level best so that at least the keywords should be there. You can understand what exactly the message is there. So let us understand the causative factors in a very fast way in next 5 to 10 minutes, how basically things have started and what has happened up to 2023 in perspective of family and parenting. So the story started, when we talk about the cause, the story started around years back before 1950s. We can say this was a family at that time, a complete integrated family system before the independence. And our focus was basically more external, as there was independence problem and there was the freedom struggle going on. We were focusing later on than after the independence. Again, from 50s to 70, we started focusing on stability of the country. We started focusing on the economical stability. We were again focusing outside at that time. So up to 70s, our focus was basically outside. Between 70s, after 70s again, this was a family with all our dada, dadi, chacha, chachi, grandparents, uncle, auntie, everything staying together, a joint integrated family system. But the concept started changing in the parenting year. The couple of this family suddenly had a thought in his mind, कि I share around 500 rupees in my family and my wife and my expenses only 300 rupees. So if I separate from this family, so my expenses would be less and I don't have to share a lot of amount. So he thought of getting separated from the family without thinking about the repercussions and a manifestation of the society. He thought I should separate from the family. So he thought, okay, let's separate. And in 70s, this thought came up of independence, privacy, freedom, liberty, as well as economic freedom. So in 70s, the couple of this family got separated. And again, in early 80s, this market was completely flooded with luxury items. The first luxury item which came in early 80s was the TV. And this TV, a lot of programs came up. That was programs like Chota Parivar, Sukhi Parivar, cut down the population. And many programs were coming up apart from Bunyad, Hum Log, Nukkad. So this couple who basically got shifted from this family, he thought this is right. Luxury items have increased. And the government is also saying to shrink the population. He thought of having Hum Do, Hamare Do. The story didn't end up here also. Again, in 4-5 years later on, early 90s and late 80s, market was flooded with electronic items and things which were difficult to procure without loan became easier. And people started buying a lot of things from the market on EMI system. From this part, the Indian male, he started changing his thought process. Earlier, he used to think, I am the provider and my wife is the caretaker. Suddenly, he said, no, it's not going to happen now. Both of them are going to work together. So both of them, husband and wife, started working together. But both of them started working together again in early 90s. Husband and wife, they sat together and wife said, okay, tell me one thing. You are also going for work. I am also going for work. Who is going to handle these 2 children? Let's do one thing. We'll go for a single child parenting. And early 90s, we saw the concept of Hum Do, Hamare Ek. And we came up to the family of 3 people. Again, the story didn't end up here again. In late 90s and early 2000, again they had a dinner together. And again, wife said to husband, tell me one thing. Do we really need a child now? Or let us do one thing. Let us first settle down, have good money with us, have good ambitions and live our life. And then we will think about having a child together. So the concept of suddenly DINK group came up. That's called double income, no kid group. The child also got vanished. Again, 4-5 years passed. Again, a new concept came up when both of them, they're having a cup of tea together and husband said, okay, tell me one thing. Do we really need to get married to stay together? Why don't you do one thing? Let's stay together, check our compatibility first, and then we'll find out whether we wanted to stay together and get married or not. So the concept of live-in relationship came up. Again, the story didn't end up here also. Again, 4-5 years passed. Again, both of them, they started discussing, and the wife said to her, the girl said to the male, like, tell me one thing, do I really need a partner in my life? Why don't do one thing? Let's wander the world, travel the world. Let me see as a concept of singlehood. Later on, whenever I feel like if I wanted to have a partner in life, I will opt for a partnership. So the concept of after living, singlehood concept came up. So the family shrink from around 1570 to 2000 way, we came to singlehood concept. The story again didn't end up here also. Again in 2005 and 10, especially after 10 when WhatsApp came up, again this singlehood concept converted into a very different concept which you all are suffering now. That is the concept of self-obsession. That's called the me syndrome. People shrink themselves and they entered into the virtual world and started living into the virtual world. Again, the story didn't end up here also. In 2015, a new indication which I was seeing during my practice hours, and that I was very much concerned up to 2020, and I was not knowing the pandemic was going to come. But 15 to 20, I was just trying to create awareness about a concept, about a problem which Japan is facing from last many years, and that is called basically the Hakikomori. Hakikomori is basically where people have confined themselves into the room and they are not coming out. The youth are not coming out in Japan from last many years. So the Japanese government and the social organizations are concerned there, and this young generation, they have confined themselves. They wanted to do everything into the room. They don't want to step out of the home. So this is called the Hakikomori. So from last 60 years, what we have seen from the 60, 70 years, the concept of a joint family integrated system shrink into the concept of the Hakikomori. There are a lot of young crowd, they don't want to come out of the room. They just wanted to put up a earphone, sit in the room, have all the tasks and everything, order their food and everything in the the bedroom or in their personal rooms. So in last 70 years, the shrinking of families took place. Another concept which came up was basically with the TV. This TV we cannot forget. So it had used to have a shutter, a small key, a flower vase. We used to keep a separate trolley was there at that time. So anybody possessing this TV used to be a status symbol of the colony. So with this TV, we saw a lot of programs initially, and no one can forget the program which were family integrated programs like this Hum Log, Bunyad. With the end of the program, there used to be social message to the family. Suddenly, with these programs in early 90s, with the shrinking of the family and coming of the TV, international channels which came up, OTT platforms, lot of things came up, web series came at that moment, like we used to call soaps at that time. So with this small TV, suddenly programs came up like Tara, where every episode there has to be new relationship in that thing. Used to see Hip Hip Hooray and Campus, lot of serials came up, and this small family of three, they used to think, does it happen what they show? Then they thought, okay, we can experiment in our personal life, and they started experimenting into that personal life. Another thing what we saw, this was a family system in 1980s, where we used to sit together, we used to have dinner together, we used to interact and chat together. So these white people, when they went from India, they always thought about what to sell to Indian people. And in late 80s, they came up with the research and they said, Indian people are very much emotional. So why don't we do one thing? Let's basically play with the emotion part, encash the emotional aspect. In early 80s, suddenly there were mushrooming Archie's, Hallmark and different greeting cards company everywhere. And they said, you don't think anything, you don't write anything, you don't express, we will do all the things, you pay us for that particular thing. And same thing happened, we used to go to greeting card company, we used to pay 100 rupees there, take a card there, we used to write to and from, and used to give to a beloved one. And people used to think, what emotions, good emotions here. It was an outsourced emotions. But the thing was that we stopped expressing at that time, we stopped our creativity aspects in emotional part. But slowly, gradually, after 10 years, this company, they didn't know, suddenly there is something new thing going to come up, which going to, because of this, they have to wind up the company, and that was basically suddenly BlackBerry Messenger and the mobile revolution. Suddenly messages, the people used to chat each other, and it was a new thing, sharing the pin with each other, and chatting was a new revolution. And people used to send the forward messages, even the birthday greeting cards, marriage cards also. So the greeting card companies, they started binding up, and the messaging system came up into the market. People started giving messages. Again, the letharginess increased. Again, we became more sussed and procrastinated, and from interaction together to the greeting cards to the messaging system. Next part which came up, we started deleting the punctuations, deleting the grammar from the particular messages. We shrink the message in that way. The family shrink, the communication shrink, and now the message system also got shrink here. So we started giving abbreviated messages later on, and the messages were short at that time. Again, 4-5 years passed. In 2010, we started seeing at that time, suddenly we started playing with the emojis part. So now what has happened in last 70 years, now one person who used to express for 1.5 hour, now he puts up an emoji for any expression. The Thenga, which was a basically abusive language at that time, now became a part of your life for everything, for support, for endorsing, for validating. The thumb have become number one thing now. So why I am telling this part? Because to understand the parenting aspect, we need to understand what has happened from the family to the communication part. It has got shrinked in every aspect from like 70 years. Technological, we have grown, but communication internally, it has gone down in the personal perspective. So now we have started facing Hakikomori also, where suddenly all of them, they are just sitting at home, chatting with each other, sending messages, don't want to come outside and talk personally, especially after the lockdown period, after the pandemic period, where everybody is affected with that part. Coming to the topic now, another part, three concepts which we have seen for last around 25 years, which is a part of the parenting, because it's a series of program, 5 days, 4 days program here. So that's why I'm just elaborating few things. So three concepts came up. One concept in early 90s came up called the super kid concept. It's connected to the parenting. I demand nowadays my child should have everything. He should be good in music, good in dance, good in maths, good in abacus, he should be smart enough to be a peer. Everything should be good, because earlier I used to have 6, 7 children, and if one fails in life, I have 4 and 5 behind me. There's a backup here. Now there is a single child parenting, so the parental anxiety increase here, and so the children's anxiety also increased because it got transferred to the child. Another concept which came up is called the superhuman concept. That's the super husband concept. So if I ask a girl nowadays what type of husband you want, she says very simple, sir. I say, what type of simple? He said, sir, he should be good, he should be smart, he should be financially sound, he should be healthy, he should have a small family, he should be staying in a big city. Like Ambani and Salman Khan, everything in a common combination. So I said, when is going to happen? She says, sir, the moment if I get a super husband, then only I'm going to get married. Again, I'm not going to get married. So here the concept of super husband came up, and the concept of super wife also, where the husband started demanding a female who should be wife till 9 in the morning, and 9 to 6 she should be a working woman. Again from 6 to 9 in the morning she should be a wife. So there is a demand of super wife here. Same with industries and corporates also, the concept of super employee came up, where basically companies started demanding 4 tasks from one single person, paying a little more amount, but demanding excessive work from that. So with this, what happened? Suddenly we lost few skills from our part. We lost problem solving skills. So we are not able to solve the problem nowadays. We have lost adjustment skills. Adjust करना बहुत difficult हो रहा है. We have lost coping skills. So सहनशीलता, है ना, where we are not able to cope up now. You can see newspaper now, when you read that just because of mobile withdrawal, a child commits suicide, just for 10 rupees there is a murder. It is because of the lower coping skills. We have lost relationship skills. So relationship skills, now we have to learn relationship outside from the classes, and we have lost the pleasure also. Somewhere we are not able to seek pleasure for whatever we have at home. We have a 88-inch TV, iPhone 14, but we are not happy at home. It is because somewhere we are losing the pleasure part, happiness aspect. So we have lost the emotional stability also. So it's an era of unstable emotions now, where we are not finding stability, and impulsivity has become a part of our life nowadays. So we have lost the support system also, the support system of the teacher, the guru, the panchayat, the mukhi, the family, the grandparents. We have lost the support system also. So in last few years, we have lost many things, and because of that, the parenting concept have changed because of this thing. So this topic is related to the parenting part. So we need to understand now the second aspect, like what type of generations, like this topic is basically generation perspective, what type of generation we see at home basically. So generations are categorized into various age brackets. So the first generation is called basically 1945 to 60. They are called the baby boomers. So baby boomers, people born between 1945 to 60, your grandparents, your in-laws at home, those who are systematic, disciplined, and their quality of life is much better than us. They have their dinner at 8:30 p.m. They have their breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning. They go for a walk, and they have a very competitive life earlier, because for them survival was the important factor during the partition. For them survival was important. So they were work centric. So a lot of things to learn from this particular generation at home: simple living, high thinking. They can survive with the 800 rupees Nokia phone also, as well as basically they can survive with a white pajama kurta throughout the year also. So this generation is called the baby boomers. So basically they are born between 19 40s and 60s, and the term of technology, they had a gradual shift from the communication from landline phone, radio, and telephone and television access. So they experienced basically a significant societal changes because of the urbanization. At that time, independence was there, and the liberalization which they have seen in 1990s they have seen. So basically, they have a strong challenge, basically like their traditional values, respect for elders, the family unity which I just told, the cultural heritage which they are seeing in front of the eyes been missing now, and they wanted to come up with that again. So what technological exposure during upbringing that they have seen the digital technology during the formative years. Television became more prevalent in the urban household, but not in the rural areas. For them, it has been difficult now to make understand the younger generation to control their mobile and other things. So computers and internet access was not commonplace in the household until much later in the life, often well into the adulthood or the professional career. So parenting approach what basically the baby boomer generation hai. So they emphasize more on discipline, education and career stability in parenting. They always talk about कि समय पे उठो, समय पे सो जाओ, you should पढ़ाई करो अच्छे से, career पे ध्यान. This is a basic thing what they want to say. They will always talk about traditional values, teachings, rather than a digital influence. They will always say what you all see foolish things online. They will always criticize this is not good on online things, they will say. So they have a very limited exposure to technology. More and more things they will find them watching news channel or Southern India Crime Patrol or the newspaper. So they have a very cautious approach to basically technological advancement. That is one part with them. So this is basically what rapid technological evolution we have seen, and the baby boomers parents, they struggle to make up with the latest gadgets, social platforms and digital trend. That's the reason they will always ask you, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कुछ करके दो ये, I cannot enter into this thing, please help me to enter the Zoom, please help me enter into the video calls. So basically they are struggling to keep it with the latest gadgets. So there is a communication gap, generation gap and communication between the baby boomers and the tech-savvy children. It is coming up very high at home. So there is a difference of understanding of technology and day-to-day life impact also, fostering upon the dialogues and understanding each other's perspective. They are not able to understand each other's perspective. बच्चे बोलते दादा समझते नहीं है, दादा बोलते बच्चे हमारे समझते नहीं आज के समय में, पता नहीं क्या करते रहते हैं मोबाइल. They always talk in this language at home. So there are digital safety concerns, may basically monitoring the children's online activities, their limited understanding of digital platform, concerning regarding online safety, exposure to inappropriate contents, and cyberbullying. These are the digital safety concerns when we talk about the baby boomers. So their adaptation struggles are very high. They need to adapt parenting styles also to accommodate the digital influence. And baby boomer parenting may find it challenging to strike a balance between embracing technology for educational purposes and limiting excessive screen time. That's a bigger challenge for them. They don't understand basically number of time the educational purpose can also be solved. So that's the thing for them. So there is a social impact also. They have a altered social dynamics. Baby boomer parents might face challenge to comprehend the impact of social media on the children's social interactions, mental health and overall well-being. So they are not able to understand that it's going to disturb the mental health of children because there's a social impact going on with it. So, resistant to technological advancement due to unfamiliar discomfort with digital tools, concerns about the potential negative effects of excessive screen time of the children's development, and frustration or feelings of inadequacy when attempting to navigate and understand complex digital platform and devices. These are the basically struggles they are facing when it comes to the baby boomers, when it comes to the cyber parenting with them. Another generation is called Generation X. I took it very fast for the baby boomers because we wanted to come with your generation as well as the generation whom you are catering in the school. I wanted to discuss about that. That's why I went very fast because we are short of the time. Topic is very vast. So Generation X is basically people born between 1960 to 80. This is generation who took the job seriously and wanted to have everything big. So you remember the Shashi Kapoor dialogue, मेरे पास घर है, घोड़ा है, गाड़ी है, बंगला है, तुम्हारे पास क्या है? This was the period where they wanted to have entrepreneur skills. And from this period itself, their low level towards the trust towards the authority also started evolving. As I said earlier, they started disintegrating from the family. And this was an era of latchkey child basically, and parent-child involvement was distant at that time. So this is a generation that was a romantic era. Dilip Kumar, Rajkumar, Rajesh Khanna. It was a movie where basically they used to the father of the hero used to say, "Ghar se bahar nikal dunga, bedakhal kar dunga," and the hero used to go outside. And the end of the movie he used to come and say, "Ki maa main bada aadmi ho gaya. I am a big man now." So they used to ask, "What happened?" He says, "Ki mere paas ghar hai, goda hai, gaadi hai, और मैंने BA पास कर लिया." This was a period where everything was big at that time. They wanted to have a bigger picture. 1962-80. So basically they experienced a lot of economic and political changes, globalization, technological advancement. During this period itself, basically they started seeing a lot of new formative years of technology. So technological exposure during upbringing was basically there was computers, video games started at that time. There was a limited exposure to compared to baby boomer generation, but gradually adapting to digital advancement during the adolescent and early adulthood. During adulthood, they came up to the concept because at that time it was in the boom part and they started adapting that part. So Generation X approach parenting in India is basically they started embracing technology and became the integrated part in daily life and work, adopting a more pragmatic and adaptive approach to parenting, blending traditional values with technology. They wanted to have a fusion, Western and Indian fusion together. 5 days working, 6 day basically going for a party, and 7 day yoga and Gayatri mantra. So they wanted to encourage independence and critical thinking in the children while navigating digital space. So they wanted to encourage the independence. They wanted to give a lot of permission to the children. From here itself, the concept changed to parenting with the children. So technological adaptation, the parenting style came up that it started leveraging technology for education purpose and communication with the family. So WhatsApp groups started, a lot of people came into the groups, they had a lot of emotions attached to the WhatsApp at that time, that I am connected to my mama, chacha, uncle, because it is leveraging technology now at this moment. So setting boundaries and guidelines for screen time and online activities became a challenge. Striving to stay updated with technology, trends to better understand and guide their children was a challenge vertically. So specific challenge in cyber parenting when it comes to Generation X, that was balancing traditional parenting value and the rapid evolution of the technology. Here came basically when challenges came up, evolution came up on the higher side now. So managing the pervasive influence of media and digital distractions on the children's life. So suddenly people started feeling, no, there is some problem going on and there is a pervasive influence. कुछ तो भी गड़बड़ हो रहा है हमारे बच्चों के साथ में because of media, and there is a distraction going on. So now the addressing concern regarding online safety, privacy, and cyberbullying started with Generation X at this moment. So again, for them also, the dilemma of allowing enough exposure to technology for educational purpose without overt intelligence. They wanted to give for educational purpose, but they wanted to put a limit. Get over नहीं करना इसके ऊपर में, over intelligence नहीं करना. So navigating conflicts arising from different viewpoints on screen time and digital engagement with the family, and striving to maintain a balance between offline activities, family time, and screen-based interactions. यहाँ पर इनको balance करने में यह basically they came up with the concept problem here basically how to balance a digital life and offline life together. So lot of coping strategies started developed. They started opening dialogue with children about responsible digital citizenship, seeking guidance from educational resources, parenting communities to understand the digital landscape, to understand the online life, and emphasizing more on quality of life and offline activities to come up with a holistic upbringing, which has not been successful till date. So again, now 1980 to 2000, maybe a lot of teachers or the parents, those who are listening to me, you may be belonging to this generation. This is called the Millennials, 1980 to 2000, people born between 1980 to 2000. So they are digital natives, technological savvy, and poised to unleash innovation. They accepted the innovation part. Socially connected, but with overlapping beliefs, values, and shared experience. Very less money to spend, slower to marry, and children by choice. As I said, the DING group came up this part. And this is the generation who started dedicating to wellness. So early morning, they started doing the Ramdev Baba thing, having aloe vera, having 2 glasses of lukewarm water, going for a walk. That was exercising more, eating smarter, seeking work-life balancing. This is a generation who has been basically into seeing the globalization part and the economic disruption also, 1980 to 2000. So born between this thing, so there was a shift in the economic reforms. Technological advancements came up on the very boomer side. knowing for the adaptability, very much adaptable. You are adaptable, as we saw in the lockdown period. All the teachers, they adapted immediately digital technology. Digital fluency came up. फटाफट सब कुछ सीख जाते हैं. And inclination towards innovation and social change. There is some, if there is offer for something social change, you immediately accept कि yeah, this is required for the society. So they are basically your multitaskers. So listening to music, putting a earphone, going for a walk, and texting together. This is what basically generation millennials, also known as generation Y. This is generation Y and millennials, same word. So their boredom level has gone down now. Earlier baby boomer generation, the Mughal Azam movie was for 9 hours. Then 60 to 80 generation, that movie came to 3 hours. 80 to 2000 generation, the movie came to 1.5 hours. So the threshold of boredom basically went down, and suddenly they started demanding 90% marks of the children, that every child should get 90%. Earlier 70% mark distinction was the hero of the colony. Suddenly after this, they said no, everybody should get 90%, and they're demanding high marks for the children. So the parent-child involvement here was intruding. They wanted to intrude into the child, and the concept of the helicopter parenting started, where people started hovering around the children, and they wanted to do the micromanaging of the child. So they demanded trophies for all the children. They said, everybody should get a trophy, everybody should get a consolation prize, otherwise my child will get depressed. So they shared a lot of information about themselves, and they wanted to be on the top quickly. Within 40 years of age, they wanted to get retired. And the most important thing, they said, we are equal to the authority because we are having internet with us, and whatever the authority knows, I know much better than the authority. From this part, the increased rate of anxiety and depression started, and the gap between optimism, growing up, and reality, there was a big gap here. हकीकत और भ्रम के बीच का difference ये diminish होने लग गया. So going along with the side of proliferation of internet, mobile phones, and social media, highly immersed in digital technology in early age, experience a shift towards more accessible and advanced digital technology. So what are the millennials' approach to parenting in India basically? So embrace technology as an integral part of the daily life and child development. Everybody is engaged with the mobile. Prioritize open communication and digital literacy within family to navigate the online world, and incorporating technology into parenting, utilizing educational apps, online resources, and interactive platforms. So everybody is involved into all these things. So this is the input from the millennial. So what is the integration of technology with the parenting style? Using technology to facilitate learning, engagement, encouraging exploration and creativity, implementing digital monitoring tools, parental control features for online safety, and advocating for balanced approach, emphasizing both offline and online experience of the children. So here basically there are challenges also. So unique challenges faced by the cyber parenting basically in the millennial part. So managing vast area of digital distractions. So everybody is so concerned. There are so many platforms, Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook, and ensuring focus problems basically with the external stimuli coming up, children getting lower concentration here. So the focus has gone down. So navigating the fine line between the enabling digital literacy and overexposure to screen-based activities. The concern issue came up. Every parent started thinking about my child is having overexposure to screen-based activity, what to do for that thing, and coping with the pressures of social media and its impact on children's self-esteem and social interaction. Suddenly we saw children using filters and feeling like for the body morphic problems, they wanted to have a better face, surgeries and everything. So the self-esteem has been impacted because of this thing, as well as the social interactions too has been impacted. So struggling with setting boundaries for the screen time has become a big challenge, and maintaining a healthy digital lifestyle has become a big challenge now. Addressing concerns about cyberbullying, which is the most problematic thing, and exposure to inappropriate content also has become a challenge basically for this thing. So balancing their own technological dependency while guiding their children's digital behavior. A lot of children, they say, my mama and papa also use for 4 hours, 6 hours. They ask me not to do. Why don't they control themselves? So their own technological dependency because of the work and because of the official purpose, while there are also a lot of people are addicted, while they want to guide the children also not to go more on the digital platforms. And then comes the last generation. Two last generations basically is Gen Z. Children born between 2010 2000 later on. So basically Gen Z are born after 2000 and very genetically intelligent children. On the day one itself, they open up the face. The puberty has come to 8.5 years in India, which was earlier to 14 years. So now the hormonal changes has come up. The intelligence is very fast. And this generation basically have different beliefs, values, perception with them, and they wanted to again think about the global problems. They wanted to think about the water conservation, the climate, the carbon credit. The parents complain, but they don't think about us. So they always complain कि हमारे बारे में नहीं सोचता है. That's the biggest challenge for them thing. So they shape the highly digital world, witnesses the rapid evolution of technology and social media, known for being tech savvy, adaptable, and accustomed to instant access to information. So they are digital natives. So obviously you all know they are using smartphones, social media, various platforms, and employment and income generation also. They think basically from that only. They are tech savvy. They can easily adopt any new digital tool and using various tasks, various communication tools, learning and entertainment. And they have entrepreneur spirit also. They see a lot of Shark Tanks and lot of reels and short, and they have ideas, lot of coming in for the business and wanted to come up with some new opportunities in the life. So they have diversity and inclusion also. So basically they wanted to be inclusive and accepting with different races, ethnicities, genders, sexual orientation, identities. They always say कि आप लोग गलत है. Don't think it this way. We should all include we should be inclusive thought process. So they are very basically inclusive, socially conscious also. They think about climate issues or human rights. They are more active into lot of activism and advocacy also. So they are pragmatic also. They basically use lot of, they have been born into the era of uncertainty and like global events like Great Recession, COVID-19 pandemic. So basically they tend to be pragmatic and practical when it comes to the career and financial growth. They always basically wanted to be practical. So Gen Z is very practical generation, as you all know, those who are parents listening to me. So their attention span is very low. So I said from the 9 hours movie, now it is for 30-second reels now. You have to convey a message into a 30-second. This 1 hour session may be too toxic for them. So generation Gen Z wants to have everything within a minute. So this constant bombardment of information, Gen Z have a shorter span and prefer short bite content basically. So they are independent learners. They wanted to learn from YouTube, online resources, online tutorials, educational apps. So they have a lot of flexibility in education. They wanted to go for non-traditional learning pathways. And their financial prudence are very high basically. So Gen Z tends to be financially cautious and they wanted to go for a lot of savings. So if you can see at home, your children may have a lot of money with them and they don't want to spend on their friends and other things. They want to spend on themselves. As earlier generation used to spend in parties with the friends, they should share. Now they say, no, we are going to Dutch it now. We are going to basically contribute with a table. So the Gen Z is more into the political engagement also. That's the reason why they are on media, online. They have been advocating a lot of things for political thing and they wanted to put up that thing. So this generation is also called the me generation. More of self-love. They wanted to love themselves a lot, putting up outing, a selfie, a video, continuously liking, loving themselves. This is the part with them. So technology advancement, we know, like smartphone, social media, online platform has been integral part of the upbringing. Tech-driven education is there and a lot of things are. So what are the Gen Z approach to parenting? Basically, we call the parenting in future parents of India. So inclination towards utilizing cutting-edge technology to enhance parenting practices. That is an important factor. And increase awareness of online safety and privacy content due to their inherent familiarity with digital platforms. So here we can see we are doing such certain workshop which currently we are doing, NCRT is doing here, is because of the creating awareness for the online safety, especially for the parents of the Gen Z and Alpha. And the more collaborative and connected approach for parenting using social network and digital communities has to be put up in this way. So preparing for next generation parenting style, basically embracing innovative technology like VR, virtual reality, IoT, Internet of Things to create personalized and immersive learning experience, prioritizing digital literacy, critical thinking, and preparing children to navigate the evolving digital landscape and responsibility. So today I am not touching any other topics of this part where I am saying what are the problems and how to come out of this. Today we are just discussing about the different generation, right from the baby boomers to the Gen Z we have reached here. So your expectation should be here to understand basically the generation and the parenting basically aspects. So coping with rapid pace of technology advancement and impact of parenting methodology is a challenge, striking a balance between the reliance on technology for parenting and maintaining a human connection and emotional bonding, which is the biggest challenge for any parents now, connection and emotional bonding. Everybody says my child is not feeling attached, and addressing ethical dilemmas and privacy concerns associated with emerging technology. This is something the most important thing, because parents think our children are not going ethical now. They are posting something which should not be posted online. So exploring challenges related to AI, as you said, children are now threatening each other that, okay, I will morph your photo with the AI, I'll put up a deep fake. The threats have changed in schools now. It's not earlier threats ki main marunga, do phur se marunga. They say ki I'll morph your photograph with AI and you will suffer online. So now exploring challenges related to integration of AI is a bigger part. Understanding the mitigation potential risk associated with children's exposure of tech like AI powered content and virtual environment. And the large generation, within 2 minutes, I'll end up this thing. Large generation is basically generation alpha. Children born after 2010. Again, this generation is very super intelligent. And as I said, the earlier generation, the puberty has come fast. The hormonal changes have taken place. Same with generation alpha also. They are also very intelligent. So generation alpha born between 2010 to mid-20s in India, growing up era of parallel technology advancement. पैदा होते ही मोबाइल दे दिया. So they are tech natives, basically, all refers as tech native, and basically in the daily life their mobile is a part of the life. So technological native, diversity, inclusive, as I said, both the generations, Gen Z and Alpha, both think about that particular thing. They are globally aware about things because reels, shorts and many other things, online information they get, and they are aware about the global issues. Environmental conscious, they are very environmental conscious. They know it, what's happening in the other side of the world, which earlier generation, baby boomers and other used to be unaware about that thing. And individuality, here comes the most important. Generation Alpha is expected to value individuality and self-expression. So they may be expressing more, exploring more diverse interests and identities. They wanted to have their own identity. So they may be basically rejecting the conventional education system, that they wanted to have their own identity. So education landscape evolving, that is likely to experience personalized and technology-driven education with VR, AI, and many other things. So they have more access to online learning resources and educational technology. The family dynamics basically with Alpha is totally changed. So they were non-traditional family structure was there. Now they have a broader understanding of family and relationship. So health and wellness is a focus basically with Alpha. So they wanted to go to the dietitian, to the nutrition at a very early age. So economic challenges, they face a lot of economic, like student loan debts, high housing rates, and they have rapidly changing market, job market. So they have a lot of challenges when it comes to career opportunities and other. So Generation Alpha is also into entrepreneurship. So they have a lot of entrepreneur spirit with them, and with the leverage technology, they wanted to start their own business and pursue their passions. So mental health concerns are the major thing when it comes to Generation Alpha. So they have increased rate of anxiety, depression, and self-esteem, and they need a lot of support and resources for managing their mental health. Cyberbullying is a major problem when it comes to Generation Alpha and Gen Z. So online harassment and a lot of real threats like cyberbullying they are facing at this moment. This is something what parents daily, they wanted to know how to basically tackle cyberbullying. So environmental challenges, educational pressure, technological addiction, that's the most important. Addiction has gone a wider spread now. So negative impact on physical health, mental well-being and social interaction has taken place. Economic uncertainty with children, like the pandemic, like disaster, the wars, they are born into the economical challenging era basically. So they have a lot of problems with them. So societal and political divisions they are seeing. So they have to develop the critical skills and to engage in constructive dialogue to address them. So when it comes to 2025 onwards, a new generation is coming up that's called the 6G beta generation. We can say a 6G generation with them. So summing up the last three slides now. So Alpha is 5G, Gen Z is 4G, Millennials are 3G, Gen X is 2G. And finally, this is the generation map, we can say, right from the baby boomers to Generation Alpha. These are all the different criteria, category of generation perspective here. So today's session was basically more to divide and categorize what type of generations are available in your home, your grandparents, your in-laws, your brother-in-law, sister-in-law, your son, children, everybody. So what type of different age brackets are there, to understand that, so that next session, whenever I'm going to take, you will be able to understand Alpha and Gen Z in that way. So this is what exactly, if suppose in case there is some query later on, definitely you can ask the NCERT official, or we can connect whenever you wanted to get connected to this number.
Sure.
So another part, you can go through this book also, which is called Cyber Psychology for Parent Child. A lot of references have been taken from this book, already been used worldwide.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. You have explained in detail what is the generation gap between the first generation and till date, and the upcoming generation also. You have mentioned the beta generation, which will be there from 2025 onwards. Thank you so much for your valuable input, sir. And it was a wonderful conversation. We heard a lot about the different generation and the gaps. So there's a lot of gap between these generations, not just within the technology, but the parenting style, parenting attitude, parenting behavior as well. So this is the scenario in India, because earlier we used to have the joint families, and now the different family styles, family structures have been adopted. But what about if we go outside the country? The situation have been the same outside. So the challenges that the parents of India face, is it somehow similar to the challenges that the outsiders face, or is there any difference between these two?
So the division of this particular generation is worldwide. I've just taken the Indian context for few things. Otherwise, this categorization is basically.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the categorization is a universal part which I have given here. It's basically generalized everywhere, all over the world. And I've just given the Indian context in that way, so that people you can understand. Only difference what comes in the outer world is basically the cultural diversity which is there. Maybe few things have come earlier than what we are facing now. The rest of the country has faced this earlier, but rest of the things are as common and universal. It's all cultural free. All this categorization is right from US to India. The same is there.
All right. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. I would like to thank you for each and every information that you gave on this platform. It was wonderful having you. And I'm sure all the viewers, they've got the answers that they were looking for regarding this topic of ours, that is generational perspectives in cyber parenting. Thank you so much, sir, once again for your time.
Thank you all of you.
Thank you. Thank you to all the viewers as well for being a part of this program. I really think that you can relate with this program, with this entire conversation, because sir has explained each and everything when the TV came and before the age of TV as well. And there are so many parents who can relate with this, and I'm sure you must have seen those shows that the sir mentioned on Doordarshan, which used to be telecasted, and they're not now anymore. And the generation of BBM is also our viewers, so you can you can understand the generation gap here a lot better. So this cyber parenting training is going to be very interesting from each day. Today is the day 1, and let me show you. If you have not registered yourself yet, I would request you to please do so. And what is the process? Let me show you. All you have to do is type CIET on your browsers, and this would be the home page that you will see. So once you see all these menu bars, click on the menu bar of activity. The last option is workshop/training. Please click on it. Another page will open. Scroll it little down, and you can see the current activity, online training on cyber parenting. Click on it. Another page will open. Scroll it a little bit, and here is the entire details of our training. The titles of each and every day have been mentioned. The reason, the aim of this entire training, who all can participate, be it a student, a teacher educator, parent, administrator, or even general public. You all can be a part of this training program. These are the objectives mentioned. The program schedule has been mentioned with each and every day. and this will be updated with the days, and here is the way you can participate. All you have to do is scan this QR code and register yourself. Fill in the form information, and please make sure that you're putting the correct spellings of your names and other details, so that the information we put in the certificate will be correct. Or you can simply click on this link and fill the form properly. Please scroll it a little more down, and here is the link of our YouTube channel, NCERT Official. Every day after the program, the link of this particular program will be uploaded on this link. So you can watch the programs which you have missed earlier as well. If you will click on this link on day 5, you can watch all the 4 programs done earlier. Here, scroll it a little more down, and this is the space where you will be updated with the quiz link, but only on the 5th day, that is 8th of December around 6 p.m. You will get enough time to be a participant and do this quiz till 29th of December. You will have the time. Scroll it a little more down, and this is the feedback form. Either you can scan it or click on this link, fill up the feedback form. Any suggestions, any advices, any feedback you have with us, we are more than welcome. And here is the single email ID through which you can connect with us. That's training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. So this is the information. I really hope that you're going to participate in this particular training very, very soon. Let me tell you, tomorrow we are going to come sharp at 4 o'clock, and we'll be taking up the topic types of parenting styles in the digital age. Please be with us sharp at 4 o'clock, and that will be on our YouTube channel, of course, NCERT Official. With this, we are wrapping up this particular program, but please stay here. Coming up next is another special program of ours that's called Sayog, and the topic of discussion is also going to be very, very interesting. That's media literacy and mental health. The textbooks of NCERT for this new academic session, you can buy these textbooks, and there are multiple ways through which you can buy these textbooks. The information is being given on your screens in the form of ticker. Please give it a read. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. I'm Tanvi Kurana, and I'll take a leave of you. Namaskar.